Hi everyone, in today's video I'll show a realistic eye using charcoal and pencil, sharing my techniques for shading and highlights. So get ready and let's get started. First, let me show you the tools I'll be using in this video: charcoal pencil, makeup brushes, finaliner pen or a black ink, pencil, mono zero eraser. And finally, this is charcoal powder, which I constructed it from a charcoal pencil using sandpaper. I start by shading the iris using charcoal and blend it with a makeup brush. There are several blending tools, but I prefer using brushes for charcoal. But if you want to use a different tool, it's okay, it's up to you. I will take some charcoal powder from here and completely cover the iris with it. After blending, the shading usually becomes lighter, so I go back and add more layers. I add details to the iris using this mono zero eraser, but you can use any eraser you have. Then I also use a charcoal pencil to add small details to the iris. Now I'm adding the strong highlight inside the iris. Personally, I really love this part because it's more than just a highlight. It brings life and a great sense of realism to the eye. Now I'm using this finaliner pen to draw the eyelashes. You can see that I have already sketched them lightly with a pencil. This step is necessary because once you use ink, you can't erase mistakes. And there is no need to rush, take your time and do it carefully. Now I'll do the same thing with the lower eyelashes. I lightly shade the sclera, the white of the eye, using a very soft graphic pencil. I also use a tissue for blending. It works very well, especially when you want smooth and clean shading. I'm shading the tear duct and add some details using a charcoal pencil and an eraser. Next, we'll move on to shading the eyelid. I start by adding thin layers of charcoal powder. We have to be careful with charcoal because it's hard to erase and also it's difficult to blend. You can see that I put more layers until I achieve the dark I want. I'm gonna use this large brush due to the size of the area I want to shade. Now I am using a charcoal pencil to darken the eyelashes. I'm not doing this just to make them darker, but also because this step adds realism to the eyelashes. By the way, you don't have to use a thin liner pen. You can just do this step alone. But here I'm showing you my method for drawing eyes. I always blend with a brush after adding charcoal. I use an eraser to add details to the eyelashes and make them look more realistic. Now I will move to the lower part. I'll do the same thing I did with the upper one. There is no extra to explain. Sometimes there is a horizontal highlight in this area and I love adding it because it gives the eye a more realistic and beautiful look. After that, I add highlights to both of the lower and upper eyelashes using an eraser. Adding highlights is the part I enjoy the most. As I mentioned earlier, it brings life to the drawing and makes it look incredibly realistic. I see it's one of the most important fundamentals of a drawing, so I highly recommend you mastering it. Using a fine pencil, I add some details here to show the eye's veins. You can see I am adding small highlights and details with the eraser all over the drawing. I want it to look slightly glossy because I like this effect. So that's it for today's video. I finished drawing the eye. I hope this video was helpful and inspired you to try these techniques. Don't forget to support the channel by subscribing and liking the video. See you in the next video. Bye.